Hello everyone, I am Surrendot the Awesome, and I'm back, and I'm ready to look at some more Star Wars Empire at War, at least the Empire campaign. But before I get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if I can't convince you, perhaps this picture of my cat will convince you, and the fact that I have my cat sleeping behind me. And without further ado, let's get into this. So the first mission takes place on Typhera, which just opens in the most great Imperial fashion possible.
My lord, we've located a small rebel outpost using the nearby abandoned communications tower to receive Imperial transmissions.
Have the rebels detected our presence?
No, my lord. We jammed their sensors and communications before we landed.
I hope that you are not mistaken, Commander. We will eliminate the rebel forces here and discover the identity of the traitor with one swift strike.
Yes, sir.
And the Imperial raid on Typhera is also a good introductory mission for the Empire campaign, at least in terms of ground battles, and more or less kind of gets you used to the mechanic that the Empire is more about overwhelming force and its technological superiority over more or less other tactics, but you can also use tactics with this one here, and also it does give you multiple options on how you can take out things, like say you could use Darth Vader to more or less use his Force Crush on a vehicle, or you can just use overwhelming firepower, and also it kind of more or less introduces things like the TIE Mauler, which also have a self-destruct feature, and kind of more or less gets used to the fact that the ATSTs can also act as anti-infantry as well as anti-vehicle, as well as the TIE Maulers. And it also teaches you to make sure that you capture important command posts to mainly get some reinforcements down. That is how you get the TIE Maulers. And also how infantry are the only ones who can really capture the command posts. And also it kind of teaches you things like power generators need to be taken out to get through planetary shields, or, you know, the shields just in general. And also they can help with disabling turbo laser towers, which will definitely make your assault on a planet much easier. And the mission just ends in the most Darth Vader way possible.
Your incompetence is troubling. The rebels were clearly alerted to our presence.
My lord, it is likely that the traitor we are hunting may have...
You failed me for the last time, Commander. I will be better off without your services.
The next Imperial mission is the one on Fondor, where you're basically having to put down a rebel uprising, and where the game actually encourages you to kind of, convince the, local population to fall into line, by force, of course, which I like this mission as well, at least from a story perspective, and I guess from a gameplay perspective as well, because it, A, shows that the Empire is merciless and willing to do any means necessary to achieve its goals of complete and total domination, and B, from a gameplay perspective, it also teaches that, yeah, not all the civilians are exactly on your side, and are going to be so not on your side, in fact, that they want to show it to you with their blasters. The next mission is one where you get everybody's favorite bounty hunter, Boba Fett, and his Slave One, where he has to destroy a bunch of satellites around a pirate space station, so now you can go capture the pirate leader for information. And, of course, the pirate leader's interrogation was, of course, most enjoyable, at least according to the people who interrogated him. But anyways, this mission is pretty cool because it also allows you to go with tactics, as well as then go with overwhelming firepower after you disable the stations. Or you could do what I did as a kid and accidentally go bump the station sensors so many times and only get it by luck, which is actually how I beat it as a kid. The next mission is one where you have to take Geonosis, and for the space battle you have to get Darth Vader to join you, but for the ground battle, not so much, but I did anyway. For the space battle, basically what you're doing is you're destroying the rebel fleet there to more or less prevent any rebels from escaping, which is pretty standard and kind of a boring mission, if I'm being perfectly honest. The ground battle is also pretty standard and also kind of boring, if I'm being perfectly honest. It's basically just where you go around destroying rebel structures and also destroying any Geonosian hives to basically keep them in line, but that is really all this mission has to offer. I do remember how this mission also did cause me a lot of trouble as a kid, but now that I replay it, I realize that the mission's really not that hard or difficult. The next mission is the one where you basically take your fleet to go smash around the Mon Calamari fleet, which is around the time that the Mon Cala uprising was happening, and I think that this is a pretty cool mission where basically you, as the Empire, are trying to crush a revolt, but this revolt, as it turns out, is a little more heavily armed than you thought it would be, with the introduction of the Mon Calamari cruisers and about how powerful they are, especially when the most powerful vessels that you have are the Victory-class Star Destroyers, where they've got a whole Star Cruiser to go up against you. And also, this mission was also not really that difficult. I guess it can also give you another shipyard if you actually take the planet over, like take it, not just take over space. The next mission is the one where you have to take out Han Solo before he destroys the prisons on Kashyyyk, which is a pretty cool parallel from the one where you were the rebels trying to blow up the prisons. And for this one, it really wasn't that hard for me, but then again, I was playing on easy, so let's just pretend like it was way harder than it actually was, for one. And also, I did like this mission as well because it also makes it so that you kind of have to act more like a police force and less like a military, and also does show that the Empire is really not that much of morally great people. Like this mission here where I'm basically killing Han Solo who's trying to free Wookiee slaves. I sound like a worse person than I actually am. And the next mission is one on Carida, where you take control of General Veers and you go throughout the training course. And I also like this mission. It is also incredibly easy, and it does basically show just how powerful the AT-AT is, and you even get a raid from the rebels to try to stop you. And I also just like how overpowered the AT-AT is, except it then leads to the worst mission of the entire campaign. The Jabim mission is the worst mission in the entire game, and I'm not saying that from a story perspective, I'm saying that from a gameplay perspective, because basically the thing with Jabim is that you cannot land any repulsor lift vehicles, so no T-14s, and also this was very, very embarrassing, but after destroying the main base for the rebels, I could not find that one ion cannon until I looked in the literal corner of the map. And that was not fun, I'll be perfectly honest. But it does lead us to the near tail end of the campaign. In the next mission, where we go after Moff Calist, the traitor that the Empire was looking for. That being Moff Calist, not Callus as in Agent Callus, or Callus as in another Callus. Anyways, this is the first mission where you get introduced to interdictors, which can prevent Moff Calist from escaping to hyperspace, so you can easily capture his Star Destroyer. And I like this mission as well, because it allows you to basically get introduced to a cool new ship, and also again shows the Empire's technological might compared to the Rebels. And it also does introduce a pretty cool ship to help counter the Rebels' speedy attacks over, blunt force firepower. So the next mission is where you, as Emperor Palpatine, really go to Bothoi to give the Bothans quite a shocking entrance, if you know what I mean, which will be shown in this cutscene here.
Welcome to Bothoi, Your Majesty. To what do we owe this great honor?
Your disloyalty to the Empire.
And in this mission, you, as the Emperor, and two of his royal guards, which, let's face it, are not gonna last that long, basically go around massacring the entire Bothan population in this whole part. It is probably impossible to lose this one, but still, it is really, really fun, I guess. I can basically live out my fantasies of being a pretty horrible person as Emperor Palpatine, casually murdering entire swaths of the Bothan population just to keep them in line. The next mission is the one where you basically do the scene that is right at the beginning of A New Hope, where you basically tractor beam the Tantive 4 into the Devastator. But before you can do that, you have to clear out some pirates, and you have some interdictors you have to protect. More or less, in this mission, you have to first protect those interdictors, and then you have to use those interdictors to prevent Princess Leia from escaping in the Tantive 4. And I'll be honest, in this mission, I got stuck on this one, and I could not beat this one for the life of me. I am glad that with age I have gotten smarter and have actually be able to figure out how to do this mission and how the interdictors actually work. But yeah. And the part where you have to prevent Princess Leia from escaping, you also have to shoot out her engines, and then you have to go take the Devastator to basically go tractor beam her. Which, aside from this one mission, I don't really know what the use of the tractor beams are in this game, if I'm being perfectly honest. Which is something I can kind of criticize this game for, is that some abilities are kind of useless. The next mission is the one where the Rebels would probably do this to me if they could get their hands on me, which I'm glad that they can't.
You see, it's a tradition in my house to open one present each on Christmas Eve. How about this one? And the party's in a pantry.
How many lives did you just take?
None, I think. That was just a little stocking stuffer. A construction site blocking my view.
That's right. In this next mission, you get to take control of the Death Star, or more or less, you get to use the Death Star to do something pretty incredible, like destroy Alderaan. And you can also use it to not just destroy Alderaan, but you could use it to destroy pretty much any planet. Which, funny story, that happened when I was younger. My cat ended up accidentally destroying pretty much an entire planet in this game. basically, this planet was under the control of me, the rebels decided to attack it, and I brought the Death Star to really be overkill, and my cat just so happened to walk by and press a button to basically end that entire world. So yes, my cat has successfully killed a lot of people in a virtual game. Just so everybody's clear, this is a game, not real life. Anyways, the next mission is the one where you basically have got to, more or less, end, in quotation marks, the rebellion, once and for all, where you basically got to take your fleet and take over Yavin 4, Alzok 3, Shola, Polis, and Hoth. Or you could just do what I do and just take the Death Star to all 5 of them. And yes, I did do that. It, probably may have messed with Star Wars history a slight bit, but, what's the worst that could happen, consider what I've done? I will say, I did like the Empire campaign a bit more than the Rebels, but that is probably down to the fact that I guess I just love the awesome power of the Death Star, and where basically, if you destroy a planet as the Death Star, then it basically turns into planetary debris, and the only way that anyone could take it over is with a space battle. They, also, the planetary debris gives off less resources because, you know, you just blew up all the resources there. And I think with that, that's gonna do it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.